After Patrick Mahomes won the MVP and Super Bowl in 2022, the Kansas City Chiefs point-blank struggled on offense in 23, but managed to pull it all together in the playoffs and win another ring. Now in 24, instead of one of the greatest quarterbacks and offensive coaches of all time bouncing back, they have continued to struggle. Mahomes is having the worst statistical season of his entire career. His touchdown rate, yards per attempt, and QB rating are his lowest ever. He's already been sacked the most in a season, with still 4 games to go. What has gone wrong? And can the Chiefs once again turn their offense around? Real quick, before we answer these questions, I want to thank this week's sponsor, SeatGeek. With the NFL playoffs nearing, it is time to lock in your plans to go see your team live. Last year, when I saw the Ravens-Chiefs AFC Championship, I used SeatGeek because they are the best app for buying regular season tickets, postseason tickets for your favorite team. I decided to go pretty last minute last year. I had to see this game, so I hopped on SeatGeek just a week out, and in a minute, I was in. I prefer them because their app rates the deals for each game based on the best deal for each seat. A green dot means it's a good deal, a red dot means it's a bad one. I'll use the app months, weeks, or even hours before the game, concert, festival, whatever I'm about to do, green dot it up, and I am good to go. Every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee, and what's cool, if you pop in my code Rollins10, on your next order you will get 10% off, that's code Rollins10. The craziest Chief stat is that Mahomes' average depth of target, how far down the field he throws, has declined every year of his career, and his 6.1 ADOT this year ranks 32nd in the NFL. The last 2 seasons falling down into the 6 area. 2023 was because their receiving core declined, so their offense became even more underneath, quick game to the extreme. And this year, the receiving weapons are still an issue, but now it's the offensive line struggling as well. Their receivers can't win in coverage, and Mahomes can't extend plays as often because of the offensive line. The rookie left tackle Kingsley Suamataia was getting torched early, so they went to second-year Wanya Morris, who's fizzled as well. And when your receivers can't get open, you have to stay in the pocket, but your line can't protect. This is not a winning formula. For example, the Bills beat him 30-21 by playing man coverage with a spy. Cover 1 man has 1 deep safety to protect against anything deep, but usually you also want a zone linebacker in the middle so your defenders can have help underneath and funnel their receiver towards that help. But the Bills weren't worried about the receivers, they were way more worried about Mahomes scrambling. So by playing cover 1 man spy, they're saying, we are not worried about your receivers beating us one-on-one. We aren't going to let Mahomes run. He will be stuck in the pocket with no choice but to hope his protection holds up and his receivers gain separation, the Chiefs' 2 biggest weaknesses. By keeping him in the pocket, the offensive line has had to protect longer, and it's exposed this offense. This quarterback has already been sacked 35 times, that's more than his career high of 28 back in 2021, and it's cause of horrible offensive tackle play. Mahomes loves to gain a bit more depth on his drop so that he can stretch out the defensive line and create more space to extend the play, but that puts more strain on the tackles, who still have to guard inside and now even further outside, and both guys are not up to the task. Mahomes' pocket time when pressured is the lowest of his career at just 2.3 seconds. So as we've seen, defenses can just move up to the line and play man coverage, forcing him to hold the ball and take sacks. In the past, they always had Travis Kelce to stop defenses from manning him up. If you put anybody on him one-on-one, you were certifiably insane. But last week, there were 10 recorded man coverage snaps of Derwin James on Kelce against the Chargers. And not only was Kelce held without a catch, he wasn't even targeted once. When an offense can't beat man coverage, it's because they are slow. When Rashee Rice went down, they've now been left with an aged Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, DeAndre Hopkins was brought in to alleviate the one-on-one man coverage issues, but he's at least semi-washed. Xavier Worthy is only a gadget player at this point in his development, so the offense can't stretch the field, which forces Mahomes to be all dink and dunk underneath. Worthy has to step up, but he's only been effective in heavily schemed situations because Mahomes still doesn't trust him as a true receiver. It's all over the tape. The Bills are running this cover 2 zone coverage with 2 high safeties, and Worthy has this deep corner route. When Taylor Rapp blows the coverage and the corner is wide open, it's still not super straightforward. If the squat cornerback gets a ton of depth, Worthy will take his route higher, and if the quarterback is more underneath, Worthy can go flatter. The problem is, Mahomes can't throw this ball with anticipation because he doesn't trust Worthy to see the defense through the same set of eyes. Yet. So even though Rapp is facing the wrong way and the coverage is blown, Mahomes doesn't throw with anticipation, and instead of a touchdown, this should be at least toe-tapped, but Worthy can't make it happen. What's been strange is watching even Kelce and Mahomes struggle, at least at times, to be on the same page. Where they usually have their voodoo mind meld, this year they haven't been connecting in the same way. The Chiefs' favorite concept is same-side sail, which is a 3-level concept designed to flood one side of the defense. Against the Broncos' cover 3 zone coverage, this is perfect, because Worthy can run off the cornerback deep, then Kelce and Noah Gray high-low the curl-flat defender, so whoever he chooses to guard, one guy will almost always be open. The Chiefs love same-side sail because they don't have a reliable speed receiver to run across the entire field, and then they can also get Kelce running the route, because once again, he doesn't have to run super far. He is so good at finding the soft spot in the zone that when the Broncos bust the coverage and have both PJ Locke and Jaquan McMillan go to cover the concept, he sits down in the zone so he doesn't run himself right into McMillan, but Mahomes doesn't see it correctly and the pass is incomplete. The offense has also had issues at times running the ball, where they've gone back to some of their previous problems of running too much from shotgun. Gun runs create a tell for the defense, because it's much harder for the running back to run to the right here, which eliminates potential gaps he can attack. So he really has to go across Mahomes' face, and the defense knows it. This also creates more of a horizontal rushing attack, where the offensive line can't get downhill in the same way and punish and hit the defensive line, attack straight forward, and also, the Chiefs have famously faced a ton of 2 high safety coverages the last few years, so they consistently have the advantage in the running game with that extra defensive body deep instead of inside the box, so you want more downhill runs, because horizontal ones gives the safeties more time to fly down from depth. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, okay, this team is still 12-1 and aren't downright horrible, they must be doing something right. And you would be correct. The Chiefs are leading the league on 3rd down conversion rate, 52%, which tells us they still know how to execute when it matters. While some of the connection between Mahomes and Kelce hasn't been there like it has in the past, it'll always be there in crunch time. On 3rd and 4, the Broncos are playing this weird man coverage to the bunch where PJ Locke is 10 yards off Kelce when the Chiefs just need 4 yards. And watch Trav. He slow plays his release, knows to use Justin Watson as a weapon, where if Locke flies down, Trav can take this outside and break free, so he keeps stemming towards Watson to keep Locke high, then breaks down and picks up the first. You can tell this is an adjustment because Mahomes doesn't look quite comfortable. He can't throw this with anticipation because he doesn't know exactly where Kelce is going to go or what he's thinking. You can see him kind of hitch, but he realizes Kelce is seeing exactly what he's seeing, and they convert the first down. Mahomes is still at the top of his game in ways, just doesn't have the supporting cast to put up his usual numbers. I love this play because it shows how smart he is. He sees Marshawn Lattimore inside leverage on the receiver, which alerts him it might be a blitz. He's naked off this play action concept, meaning there's nobody blocking the backside. So when Lattimore comes, if Mahomes wasn't as smart, he'd get blasted. But he knows what's coming before it comes and makes a play not many can. The Chiefs are the weirdest 12-1 team ever. They've won close game after close game, often with their voodoo magic. So it feels like in ways this offense is bad, but we know deep down they are good. The offensive line is a problem, the receiving core too. Mahomes has looked off here and there this season, but at the same time, we saw this exact thing play out last year, and they won another Super Bowl. The Chiefs recently signed longtime veteran DJ Humphries at left tackle to hopefully shore up that position. If he can provide even adequate tackle play, if Hollywood Brown coming off IR can be a legit option and inject some speed into this receiving group, the Chiefs will be fine, they will be back, and they will three-peat.